Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's always a pleasure to see you. I hope you're doing well. We move into the round of 16 over in the Winston-Salem today. As always, we'll go through each and every one of these matches that we've got. 8 of the best, some may say. Make sure you get your comments in with your predictions. Anything that I'm going for personally will be in that pinned comments. Feel free to take a look at that. You can take it if you want. You can leave it if you must. It's entirely up to you. But before we get into it, like the video if you be so kind, get yourself subscribed to the channel. If you're not already, we continue to grow each and every day. It would be an honour to welcome you to the squad. But very well, first things first, now that is out the way, how did we all manage yesterday? Did we enjoy the matches? Yes, no. Did we win? Did we lose? Did we just come close? No dice for me, unfortunately. It's alright. 2 good days, 1 bad one. I feel like every person I took yesterday, they came out, broke serve straight away in that first set, and then just proceeded to play like shit for the rest of the match. It's alright. It is what it is. You ain't going to catch me complaining over that. But get yourself involved. Share with the group. Don't be shy. And now all that is said and done, we will get straight into business, folks. Let's get it on. Right, so first off, we've got Kecmanovic and Luciano Darderi. It could be an interesting one, but then again, it could be yet another routine win for Kecmanovic on the hard court. These have played each other twice before, both of them coming this year. Darderi did beat him over on the clay in Germany, 3 sets. No surprise to see that the Italian came through on the dirt. And then Kecmanovic, it's only right that he got it done on the hard court, 6-3, 6-3, start of the season over in Hong Kong. Easy win, like I said, routine victory. He didn't really struggle much against Kovacevic yesterday. Kecmanovic didn't look, he weren't like the best player on the tour. He turned up and done exactly what we knew he was going to do. Kovacevic didn't really do himself any favours. Double fault started to creep in. That backhand, we said it, didn't we? I suppose it's just that easy, these one-handers nowadays. I mean, unless it's Roger Federer, you cannot trust them on these quick conditions, can you? You really can't. Kecmanovic was just peppering the shit out of the backhand. Kovacevic just double faulted and fucking headed his way to a straight set loss. A little bit disappointed, but, in hindsight, maybe that was the way it was always going to go. And he'd beat him as well in Miami quite convincingly earlier on in the season. He's also beat Luciano Darderi. Now, the Italian, unlike Kovacevic, I'm not going to say he's not suited to the hardcore, because like I said yesterday, I believe that there could very well be a decent hardcore game within Luciano Darderi, but based on what we know and based on what we've seen so far, I would have to assume Kecmanovic would probably have an easier time against the likes of Darderi, or the hardcore game and abilities of Darderi as opposed to Kovacevic. I mean, you take that one-hander out of it. Is that going to be the difference in this? I'm not too sure. Like I said, Darderi got himself a decent one against McDonald, but Kecmanovic might just be a bit of a step 2 up as far as the surface goes for the Italian. I don't know, we'll see. We shall see. I'd probably be rooting for Darderi to get this one done. I would like to see him put in a bit of a run on the hard court prior to the US Open. We'll see what happens. We'll see how he turns up. Probably, in hindsight, you probably wouldn't be surprised if Kecmanovic turns up and beats him again. I mean, 6-3, 6-3. Darderi's played, about 5 or 6 games since that? 2 and 6 so far on the season. Yeah, that's it. It's nothing to write home about. That win against Mackenzie McDonald and then the one to Pedro Martinez. I would love to see Darderi get this one done. I'd love to lean with him as well, but until I've seen something that would suggest otherwise, I probably couldn't back him to get this one done on the surface. Certainly not going anywhere near Kecmanovic today. I would like to lean towards an over. I think Darderi's got a bit more about his game, a bit more rough and ready than Kovacevic. I mean, I think Kovacevic played that shit either. He just, like I said, it was just 1 or 2 errors too many. Especially in that tiebreak. I'm sure he hit about 4 or 5 unforced errors in the tiebreak. Fucking unbelievable. But I'd like to think Darderi can give him a good go. Not too sure about the price. 2.3. Call it 1.6, 1.7 for Kecmanovic, depending where you look. Now, it's entirely up to you. I would lean towards an over in that one. Probably wouldn't be surprised to see Kecmanovic just edge that one out. But then again, you know what I always say, he is a bit of a 50-50 player. He's just won his first match, so he might just lose this one. Food for thought, you pick your poison on that. And we'll see what else we've got. Majchrzak and Sebastian Korda. I could potentially make an argument. I could make an argument for either one winning this matchup. I mean, I suppose it comes down to one thing, you know, are you trusting in the form of Majchrzak? It seems like red hot form, you know, coming off the back of that title. And unlike Matteo Bellucci, it didn't really look like Majchrzak has fluked his way to a hardcore title, you know. He's turned up at the Winston Salem, ready to go. Straight sets in his last 2 games. Nuno Borgi absolutely fucked Nuno Borgi up. And then the game against Nicolas Jarry, straight sets to pair. Happy days, happy days. He's been rather fine fettle indeed. It's quite the contrary to Sebastian Korda now, I will admit, as we all know. We've barely seen him play. Well, we haven't seen him play since the French Open as far as the season goes. I haven't seen that much from him. I mean, what is the record for Sebastian Korda? I imagine it's not that great. 12 wins, 10 losses. That's not that good. That ain't that good. 7-4 on the hard court. Look, Majchrzak, as it stands, he's actually ranked higher than Sebastian Korda. Like I say, Korda ain't exactly been the luckiest guy. He struggled with injuries and whatnot, but even still, I mean, 12-10 compared to 32-18. And Majchrzak is riding some heavy momentum coming into this one. I would like to assume Majchrzak gets this one done based on form alone, but realistically, you'd say Sebastian Korda. If this was any other season, I probably would have picked Sebastian Korda to win this one. I'm not going to lie to you. He did come back and look fairly decent enough against Vic Capriva. I mean, I don't know how much weight that holds for a player such as Sebastian Korda, if I'm being honest with you. You're either taking Majchrzak, you know, going on the form that he's currently in. I'm losing my voice, I do apologise. You back the blazing off form of Majchrzak. I say Nicolas Jarry, Nuno Borgi, at the moment, based on what we know, I think Sebastian Korda very may well just be around that level. Nuno Borgi ain't been playing too good lately, so maybe it's not too fair to say Nicolas Jarry's been shit all year, and he's been trying and trying. Sebastian Korda does need some wins. This is like the prime event for him to at least go on a little bit of a run, get some momentum, pick up a bit of speed before the US Open at the end of the month. But I'm just not too sure how much can you trust in it. 1.5, what is that? No, 1.6, excuse me. Seems a little bit steep. Given the circumstances, I suppose I would probably have to lean towards Majchrzak in this one. Even for him just to pinch a set. I fancy Majchrzak to pinch a set, given the current run of form that he's in. Say Nicolas Jarry stood no chance against him. Nuno Borgi, he may as well have been playing against one of the ball boys, you know, 6-1, 6-3. Sebastian Korda did look decent enough against Vic Capriva, 6-3, 6-4. A routine win, kind of what you'd expected. I would imagine Majchrzak's probably going to be a bit tougher on the day, and especially on the surface. We'll see. I highly doubt Majchrzak's going to have any sympathy for him. Well, let's just take it easy on him because he's come back. Absolutely not. I feel like these are the type of tournaments that Majchrzak has to go and win. I really do. I don't think we could say, oh, he's getting himself into a bit of form before the US Open, because quite frankly, I don't think Majchrzak stands any chance at winning the US Open, but he's just got himself a title. If he can get himself a title on the Challenger Tour, go on a deep run once again over in the Winston Salem, or at least even take the title, you never know. I think that'll be more than enough for a player like Majchrzak. But then again, he's in the top 178 in the world. I'm not too sure. I'm not exactly certain how this works. If he gets a few more places in the ranks, he'll get it. When he get a direct, he'll get a walk into the slams, won't he? So maybe. Just maybe. He may have already done enough. I'm not too sure. You'll have to go and check. But I would imagine Majchrzak's going to be ready to go on this one. Just based on what I've seen. I would have to trust in the form of the pole in that, as opposed to the desire, you can say, or the hope surrounding Sebastian Korda that he might just snap back into fitness and into form. because even when he was playing good, he weren't even playing that good. So after a few months off, getting one win against Vic Capriva, I apologise if I've offended any of the Americans, but I'm just going to have to sit and wait on Sebastian Korda. I can't trust him to turn up, even in the States, and get this one done. Absolutely not. They all got absolutely bullied last night, so would I be surprised to see Sebastian Korda get sent home? Probably not. Probably not. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Right, so next up is Bautista Agut and Martin Fuscovics. That's right. Doesn't get any easier. Does not get any easier today, I am afraid. Head-to-head is 3-2 to Bautista Agut. In this one, they played each other 6 times. One of them was a walkover. 4 of the 5 coming on the hard court. Twice indoors, twice outdoors, and then once on the grass. Most recent was last year. Over in Doha, Fuscovics got that one done quite convincingly in straight sets. 6-1, 6-3. I think I'm kind of expecting him to get this one done. I think I'd be going with Fuscovics in this one, folks. He's looked fairly decent enough against Hugo Gaston, although that don't impress me much. The Italian Greek Sport one, although it's not exactly prime time Italian Greek Sport, it was a close game. He took the first set, dropped the second. He could have easily just lost that match, let it slip through his fingers. Fuscovics turned up and said, "Not today, mate, Italian Greek Sport. You cannot beat me. Let's make that head-to-head 4-0. I've liked what I've saw. I've been liking what I've been seeing from Fuscovics. Now, the price on this, it's a weird one. It's drifting, it's shortening, depending where you look. I've got it drifting on Bet365 and shortening on the exchange. So, it is a close match. It is more of a coin flip, this one, you would say. But on paper, given the surface, I do think Fuscovics has the clear advantage given the hard court surface here. I mean, 12-3 this year. Although, like we said in the last video, it may be somewhat deceiving, the hard court record of Fuscovics this year. Got that challenger, got the title on the Challenger Tour, and then prior to this tournament, not a single win in the main draw. Prior to the Winston Salem, but now he comes in, he's on a 2-game winning streak, and he takes on Bautista Agut. I'd say this is a very, very winnable matchup for Fuscovics. Bautista Agut, 4-7. Not too great. Like I said, Madison, Daniel Altmaier, Norrie, O'Connell, 3 of the 4 coming more recently. So maybe like I said, maybe he's found something. Maybe things will be different now we've come back to the hard court in regards to Roberto Bautista Agut. But I couldn't see it. You can simplify this if you want. You can take either one. I'd probably be looking at Martin Fuscovics for at least the one set today against the Spaniard. Personally, I think he goes ahead and just wins it straight out, but you never know. Could be a close one. I'd be surprised if Fuscovics lost this one in straight sets, wouldn't you? So we'll move on to Mpetshi, Perricard and Alexander Muller. He remains unreliable. Hands up, who thought Gio was done against Martinez the other day? I thought he was just going to lose it. Just when I sat here yesterday and said he cannot lose it, he lost his serve immediately, didn't he? I think he lost his serve immediately, and I thought, oh my god, here we go, and he dropped the set. He just didn't look great. He never really does. You've just got to sort of rely on him, outpowering his opponent. Fortunately for him, he plays Alexander Muller. Not exactly that reliable himself. He looked fairly decent against Darwin Blanche. Look, some people might look at that and go, he struggled, it was a close game, this and that. It became very apparent to me very, very quick that Darwin Blanche is no joke, Unlike, every single year we get like 2018, 19-year-olds that come out of the States that are destined to be the next number one. And none of them ever are. They'll spend a month on the tour and then they'll reside on the Challenger until they're 28. It's the way of the water. Darwin Blanche actually looks good. He is one of the few that come out of that, that relentless tennis machine over in that country that actually looks really good. I will give him that. But Alexander Muller, too much on the day. We kind of thought the experience would just edge him out in that one. Although I thought it may have been a bit more convincing, on Alexander Muller's side. But like I said, Darwin Blanche is clearly no joke, and I will happily admit that. I would probably just have to go with Mpetshi, Perricard once again. It's just hard to beat him. He's just hard to beat. He's not the best. He's easy to win points against, if you can stifle that first serve. He's very easy to beat, but not many can do a lot with the service games of Gio and Mpetshi, Perricard. You're kind of hoping on this guy just breaking himself. I'd say apart from the save and the power, I'd say Alexander Muller probably does everything else a little bit better. So, they kind of cancel each other out in this. The odds are close for a reason. 1.8, 1.75 for Gio in this. It's not too bad, providing you're brave enough to go for it. But, two Frenchies going at it. Neither one are reliable. 1.8, if you can get at 1.8 Gio for a set, I don't know. These played each other before? No, they have not. Would have been nice to see if they did. Yeah, 7 and 8 on the hard court for Gio, 11 and 8 for Alexander Muller. Like I said, a little bit more trustworthy. I think, when did Gio win that title? Didn't he win a title over on the Challenger Tour? I feel like that title over in Bordeaux in May is the only thing keeping this guy afloat at the moment. If he hadn't won that, God knows where he'd be in the rankings. He's not the best to bet on. Even when you do, you'd always wish that you didn't. So I probably wouldn't advise you to go anywhere near that one today, folks. Right, so the next one is going to be Gabe Diallo and Hamad Medjedovic. I'm very excited for this. Very excited. This will be a proper game of tennis, this one. These played each other back in Barcelona, was it? Yeah, Barcelona on the clay this year. That did go the way of Hamad Medjedovic. It was in qualifying 6-4, 6-4. And it's been the only time that they've met each other on the tour. I'd be going with Hamad Medjedovic in this one. I think I would like to go with Hamad Medjedovic in this one. Gabe Diallo was supposed to play in the Shesh Bassavaredi. He ended up pulling out, so we haven't seen him this week over in Winston-Salem. As for Medjedovic, he's played 2 games already, 2 games under the belt, both of them in straight sets. Artur Rinderknech, Jacob Fernley. Happy days, happy days. On one hand, you could say Diallo's going to be the more rested of the two. Absolutely right. But then, I feel like in a case like this, in a scenario like this, I would probably lean towards, or equally accept just as much, Medjedovic having the game time under the belt. 2 games on the courts. I think he's a decent player, man. He's really good on the hard courts as well. He can be an absolute nightmare to deal with. Gabe Diallo, 13 and 11 on the surface this year. Not too great. Not really doing much in and around the main draw. Most of them, well, a lot of them come through like first round wins and then qualifying, what have you. Hamad Medjedovic, the record 5 and 2 so far this year. They've all pretty much, well, the majority of them have come from Cincinnati and then the Winston-Salem. He done the majority of the damage on the indoor courts earlier on in the season. I think he possesses a very, very potent hard court game. I really do. Gabe Diallo, as we keep mentioning, I think we kind of seen the best version of the Canadian out on the grass. We've come back to the hard court. And like we said, you can't really take anything away from it. It's been quite patchy, 1-1 in every tournament. But the opponents that he's run into, the loss to Shelton, Taylor Fritz and Yannick Sinner, it's not really panic stations, is it? It's far from it. Sebastian Baez, Matteo Gigante and Fabio Madison all in straight sets. I think Hamad Medjedovic may prove to be a hell of a lot more difficult than all of those 3 previous wins prior to this tournament. He's good, man. He's good. Both of these are fucking massive. Both of these can hit really hard. I think Medjedovic can hit just a little bit, if not a lot harder. I think he can serve better. Pretty much what have you. Couple of concerns. There will always be a couple of concerns surrounding the fitness of Medjedovic, but he's looked really good. He's looked really good so far in the Winston-Salem. What is the price, you may be asking? Oh my days. Oh my days. I've got Medjedovic here currently at 2.3. And I feel like I may just take it. I'm definitely thinking on taking him for a set. This opened at 2.7. 2.75 for Hamad Medjedovic. It's dropped all the way to 2.3. Now, I know the video was out a bit late, but I think if you're going to go on Medjedovic, you may need to go now. You may need to be as quick as you can on that, because I can see that dropping even more. Come closer to the match, we could have ourselves one split right down the middle. That's surprising. That's surprising. I thought it may have already been split down the middle to start, but clearly I'm not the only one who fancies a slice of the Serb today. Give me Medjedovic for a set. I'll take a bit of that, thank you very much. And then next up we've got Lorenzo Sonego and Jami Munar. Jami Munar, what did he do to Matteo Bellucci? He made Matteo Bellucci look like a fucking idiot last night, didn't he? Fair play to him as well. I mean, you know, if Bellucci's going to turn up and play like that, then watching him get beat 6-3, 6-1, it was bittersweet. It was bittersweet, I'll say that. And then Sonego, I mean, barely got past the American lad, didn't he, the Stanic? 6-3, and then 2 tiebreakers. That was it. It was a lot closer than what I thought it was going to be. Now, to my surprise, I mean, am I that surprised? I suppose I am a little bit surprised. Jami Munar is a favourite in this one, and people, evidently so, quite fancy a piece of the Spanish pie as well. I mean, 1.7, this opened around 1.8, am I correct in saying that? Yeah, this is a weird one. 1.8, it's all the way down to 1.7 for the Spaniard. Sonego call it 2.1. Now on the hard court, you'd look at these and you'd say Sonego is probably a bit more suited to the surface, Munar being a bit more suited to the clay, although Sonego's decent on the clay too, but probably not as efficient as the Spaniard in that regard. Head to head is one apiece. Most recent one was in the Cincinnati Masters last year. That went the way of Jami Munar, and then the year before that on the clay went the way of Lorenzo Sonego. The roles are reversed. I'd have thought Sonego stood a decent chance against Jami Munar on the hard court. I really would have, but I can say the money is coming in on the Spaniard. It really is. Did we remember Lorenzo Sonego won this tournament last season? Are we forgetting that? Kind of plays well over here, although his last match wasn't that convincing. Jami Munar doing what he done to Matteo Bellucci. I mean, was it impressive? Kind of. Did we just sort of watch Matteo Bellucci just blast fucking error after error? Like I said, you know, everything I said about Matteo Bellucci, I didn't want to believe it. I thought, given the form, he may have turned a new leaf, but literally everything I said, that's what he reverted back to. Just this over-aggressive fucking ball of chaos, and not in a good way either. Own worst enemy players like that. I would like to think Sonego is going to be a bit more reserved, a bit more solid, you know, tougher to break down. Thing is with Jami Munar, I can just never get it right with this guy. I never really bet on him. I hardly bet against him. You know, I've been taught a repeated lesson by the Spaniard over the years that you can't sleep on him. He's deceivingly good, and he's getting better and better. Like we say, he's made significant improvements this year alone. And this is just a tournament, man. I mean, look, it probably doesn't wash with Sonego as much as it would with other players. Sonego does have what little points he's got left to defend in this tournament. Can we see him winning it again? Kinda has to. I think it'll be a bit of a big ask for him to go and do it, although it's not out of the question. Just when I think Munar's going to win, it looks like everyone thinks Munar's going to win. He'll turn up and play shit and Sonego will beat him. And whenever I think he's done, down and out, he'll turn up and look fucking fantastic. I struggled to get it right. It was Jami Munar, to say the least. So maybe if we all sort of say that Munar's going to win this game, and then secretly we just back Sonego. Because if we're all secretly kind of convinced, cross of the fingers, that Munar wins this game, then maybe he won't. And then maybe we take Sonego and maybe Sonego wins. But I'm not too sure. I wouldn't have thought he'd have beat Sonego on the hard court anyway. Given he's got the defending champ as well, he will definitely have his work cut out for him. I'm not taking much away from that result against Matteo Bellucci. I imagine you're going to have a much more difficult time against the Italian. I would like to think so anyway. Could be a close one. We could be in for an over. Like I say, Munar's deceivingly good on the surface. Definitely improved. Most definitely improved. Sonego, we kind of know what we're going to get. I like either one for a set. I'd take Sonego for a set. Lean towards an over. I think Munar's just going to turn up and beat Sonego, the reigning and defending champ, in straight sets in the Winston Salem. Crazier things have happened, but I would lean with the Italian for the one set in there. And then two more. We've got Boo and Navone. I'd be going with Boo in this one. I think I'll be going with Boo in this one. The two wins from Navone, although two of them have been in straight sets. The first one holds no weight to me. And then that win against Majchrzak. What is he doing? what is Majchrzak doing? You know, he's a season and a half away from just being a pickleball player, if you'd ask me. The pickleball court or the paddle is fucking calling him from afar. Can't be getting beat by Navone at home, man. You just can't. You just can't. I mean, decent shit from the Argentine. You can't take anything away from him. Majchrzak was there to be beat, and beaten is exactly what he did. But I don't think he's going to get past Boo. I think Boo, although he's been far from solid this year, 8-11 on the hard court. Navone's won 5-7. Considering Boo is much more suited to the surface, that is not very promising coming into this matchup. I'll be honest with you. Close game against Seng in the first round. Turned up and just bullied Tsitsipas yesterday, 6-3, 6-2. I imagine that will fill you full of confidence. I think he's just a better player on the hard court. It's not saying much because the majority of people, I imagine some people watching, may have more hard court abilities than Mariano Navone. But this is just one of them matchups. If you would have took Majchrzak last night, I imagine you would have vomited watching that. I would like to think, based on what I've seen so far from Boo, even though, you know, the win against Seng, it's not much to write home about. It's a decent result, you know, providing, you know, the way it went. And then the one against Tsitsipas, we know Tsitsipas is there for the taking at the moment. And that is exactly what Boo done. You need to turn up and take advantage of these players that are in situations like that. And that's exactly what he did. I was happy with it. Like I say, absolute beatdown. Much more suited to the surface. We've seen more from Boo on the surface throughout, you know, the past season or two. I think if we get the current version of him that's played in the previous two, he turns up and he should beat Mariano Navone today. 1.7 for Boo. I feel like I would be very, very tempted to take that. It's a lot closer than what I would expect, but what are you going to do? What are you going to do? 1.7 for Boo. I think I'll have that. Boo for a set anyway. You could make it easy for yourself. It's not a bad parlay piece. And then we'll wrap this shit up with Sebastian Baez and Botic van der Sandschulp. I'll be going with the Dutchman. I'll be going with Botic van der Sandschulp just because we're on the hard court. And I repeat what I said yesterday. Sebastian Baez can't play on the hard court. He did beat Carreño Busta. It is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, did anyone think Sebastian Baez was going to win that? I didn't see nothing in the comments or nothing prior to that. Any objections to Carreño Busta? 7-5, 6-2. Maybe his fitness just got the better of him once again. Who knows? It's kind of irrelevant. I'd like to go Van der Sandschulp in this one. Everybody had him all but written off against Adam Walton. He turned up and done that. And he was a dog once again against Matteo Arnaldi for some weird fucking reason. But yeah, he turned up and he made him look like an idiot as well. 6-3, 6-3. Good shit. Good shit. Playing well over in the Winston Salem. Sebastian Baez definitely pulling off the upset against Carreño Busta, even though, you know, given the age of the pair of them, it doesn't really seem like much of one. Going off the odds anyway, Carreño Busta definitely got upset. He definitely let us down yesterday. I think Van der Sandschulp's just going to do Sebastian Baez. I really do. Is Sebastian Baez just going to string together a run of victories, go on a deep little run in the Winston-Salem prior to the US Open? I can't see it. I just can't see it. Does nothing on the hard court. Does absolutely nothing on the hard court. And like we did mention, he did win this title in 2023, which still is crazy to me. But ever since, he's done absolutely fuck all. Van der Sandschulp 9-6 on the season, 2-5 for Sebastian Baez. Barely wins a game on the hard court. Will lightning strike twice? What are the odds he wins back-to-back matches? 2.5 for Sebastian Baez, 2.75 in Betway, if anyone uses that. I doubt anyone does. Call it 1.5 for Van der Sandschulp. That is not exactly a price that I would fancy doing a bit of business with regarding the Dutchman today, but it would definitely be the way that I would look if I had to take it. And very well then. Very well, that is going to do us for one more. Another one in the bag. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for watching the show. Like and subscribe before you go. I'd appreciate that too. Right then. Night shifts once again for me, 3 more, and then I am off for 2 weeks for the US Open. We'll be able to get stuck right into that. Cannot wait for it. But until next time, folks, it's been a pleasure, as always. You take it easy, you take care of yourselves, you take care of one another. Get yourself involved, best bets, all that stuff in the comments. Let me know what you're going for. Anything I'm going for personally will always be in that pinned comment. But I'll be seeing you around. Enjoy the matches today. best of luck to you, and I'll see you tomorrow.